Why is that not working? There we go. There we go. I hope everyone can hear me now. Just had a minor mic problem there. Glorious OBS. Just keeps forgetting that my mic exists. Welcome to the usual Sunday stream, everybody. Back on Jurassic World Evolution 2. Let me know in the comments if you are here. Do say hello. I'm just going to pretty much get straight into it. We are here in our lovely lagoon that we built in the last stream with our lovely giant crocodiles. Lovely jubbly. And yeah, we have quite a lot of the park left to go. So today I wanted to primarily focus on our hotel area and getting our most important exhibit ready to go. So I'm just going to get basically started with that, and I'm going to keep an eye on the chat and say hello when people come in. So what have we got here? I'm not exactly happy with this sort of thing, so I'm going to rebuild this whole bit, basically. I'm not happy with how I started it. Hello, Nerd Guy. Hello, Dane. Rob Earth is here as well. Hello. Delete all path. There we go. So I want to basically make this one exhibit. Basically give whatever's in here the island, but have the sort of the water is like the moat, really. I am going to just remove some of the water from here. I don't want to give it too much. It gives me a bit more land to play with. I'm also thinking about expanding this lower area and having it come more out this way. So let's get the sand brush and just draw that on. So basically the lower end of the park will sort of be here. And that will make this even more distinctive. And we can basically just have this as like a winding path that goes down towards this lower section. It does mean that the path for this is going to have to come off of one of these points. I'm thinking probably having it go from here upwards onto there, perhaps. Yeah, and I need to figure out how to do the joining up down here, because I'm not happy with what I've done so far. As you can see, I've put in a few decorative little elements. I've done a few gardens. We've got a few fountains and seating areas going on here. And I completely finished this area, made sure it was a nice seating layout. So I'm pretty happy with this area. But yeah, it's up here where we need to get going. So, first thing first is I want this to be a little bit more angular. I don't want it to be so smoothed out. I want it to be quite an angular section. Give us a bit of a cliff edge. Let's paint in some of the sand colour just to make that a little neater. Like that. Obviously we can have one sloped area where the path is going to pop out. Then the rest we're going to have as a stern cliff. So let's put that path in straight away. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not too severe. Now I want this to be a bit like a, not too heavily like a castle, but quite fortified, I suppose. So I want it to match the rest of the park. So where are our towers? Now where do we put them? Maybe one here and one sort of here. Yeah, I think that's okay. Actually, gonna double them up to make them a little taller. How to maybe there, and obviously any little untidy edges like here, we can cover that up with trees. Let's put in another one. There we go. So 2 large towers. Then we'll go with the surrounding wall. I cover that up with rocks. Yeah, rocks, trees. I find trees sometimes to be the better thing to cover mistakes up like that, just because they're a lot more bushy than the rocks, so they kind of hide a bigger area. Let's put in another tower. Again, this doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe one more tower on the very edge there. Yeah, that'll do. And then we'll do something similar over here. So, wall section, long wall, tower. Let's have a damaged section. Hello, Natalie. Welcome to the stream. Let's have another little bit of damaged wall. Then let's have a normal wall, tall wall. Let's have another tower. I'm basically going to continue doing this all the way around, so apologies that this is probably not going to be the most interesting part of the stream, but I just want it to look as good as I can. Obviously, you could do something similar with the tall fencing as well, the concrete fence. Probably won't look as nice because these mortar fence pieces really are very decorative, but if you are playing on maps without them or you don't have the DLC, you can do it with normal wall pieces. How are we all doing today? How's everyone's Sunday been? I spent most of the first part after I woke up answering all the comments that people had left on my last video. It's nice to see people responding. As a small YouTuber, it is just really gratifying to see people leaving comments and communicating and just, you know, being part of the community. Let's have one more there. Almost there. The last tower will basically put on the very edge there. So we'll just connect it up. There we go. So we have our sort of outer castle wall there. Very sunny in Berlin. Oh, well, it's always nice. that you're getting sunshine raining down on you in Berlin and not, say, thousands of tons of Allied bombers. Hello, Goofy Goof, and welcome to the stream. And yes, we did. We hit 1,000 subs last week, actually. We're way over the 1,000 mark now, but we aren't doing the 1,000 sub celebration until next week because that's my birthday week, and that was always the plan, to do our sub special on that week. So keep a lookout. Probably tomorrow there will be a post in the communities tab explaining what's going to be done for the 1,000 sub special. I have a whole litany of ideas for the week, essentially. There's going to be, from the 1st of March onwards, there's basically going to be stuff going on, so keep an eye out for that. Okay, I quite like the idea of this being a bit of a palisade sort of arrangement, so let's make this look really quite impressive. And 2. Let's connect them up. There we are. It's a shame we don't have like a gate or anything that we could put in there. But we will go with what we have. These are way too tall. They're just a bit excessive, really, for what we want. So no, we won't do anything with those. And let's put that in there. Now, first thing I want to do is make this look quite like an entrance to the castle. Now, castles have quite distinctive courtyards, so what I'm going to do with this one is give it a sort of circular courtyard, and then this will be fountain or something like that. And then we can plan out where the rest of this is going to be. Now, with the mods, you can't make a gate. We could sink them into the ground. We could sink them into the ground, and making a gate with mods is difficult because actually there's this little oddity. So while we could make gates with, say, these things or these things, if you sink them in, you have like a mock gate. People won't actually walk across it even if you sink it into the ground because it still counts as a collision. So there's nothing really that you can do. You need Kyodenic's actual like gate mod to come back. I am, however, going to put in a couple of those. Let's make sure. Lovely. I'm happy with that. Makes it quite distinctive. Loving the flags. I might just put in some concrete wall behind this just to make it look even more distinctive. There we go. There is our entranceway. Hello, Dino Dude. What creatures are you going to use? Well, so for this particular main exhibit, this is a special area of the park. So I'm not sure what to put in here yet. We'll have a look at the dinosaur lists in a second. See what we come up with. What I am going to do first of all is put in basically a rough fence line of where we're going to want the fence to be. And then we can sort out the rest of the paddock. I'm happy to have the fence kind of go into that tower, because that basically hides that particular end of the fence, and then this one go round the back. And we'll hide that one with rocks or whatever. And then if we use the invisible fence and basically have it come off here, we can have it go through here, keep the trees in the background, give them plenty of water, have it connect up to that tower. Again, it hides the connection. And basically whatever dinosaur we put in here has that sort of zone to live on. Can you add Mapusaurus? Well, oddly enough, Natalie, Mapusaurus was one of the big carnivores I was considering having in that main sort of display area. Because I want to try and use as many sort of mod species, or not necessarily the same species that other people have often pretty much used all of the time in their parks. It's kind of why I don't like this. This is going to be a bit of a hot take, but it's why I don't like it when Evo does her sort of asking the audience for the dinosaurs that they want, because the problem is the audience tends to just pick the same dinosaurs over and over again. I think I can understand why, you know, you do ask your audience, because you want audience participation, but at the same time the audience picks the dinosaurs that they like, and the dinosaurs they like are the ones which we see so often. You know, the raptors will be there, and the triceratops will be there, and Spinosaurus will be there, and Giga will be there, and T-Rex will be there. So I kind of want to use as many non-normal species as possible for this particular park. Give them a Majungasaurus. Majungasaurus could be another carnivore we have in the park somewhere. Remember, this is like, so this is the area of the park where you're going to expect your guests to pay the most amount of money to get in here for. So it's got to be a dinosaur that they can't get anywhere else, basically. This has got to be a special zone. And hello, Bargan53. I thought they said burger for the first time. I've me and Dana waiting for our dinner to actually arrive. Now, kind of want to do some more of this, just to form like the edge of this particular. So if I raise that up, you can see we have basically it's a wall. Actually, I think a fountain would work better. Let's go with a fountain. Raise it out of the ground. Then okay, so that would work, but we need to do a little bit of shifting about. That's fine. I don't mind moving things around a little. That's something that this Kyodenics Move It mod really does allow you to do. Like when you do have just like a little thing you need to change, instead of deleting half the park you've created, you just switch it on and you can just move things around a little. So much more simple. We need something in front of this little water feature just to absorb that water spray. And then we need something behind to cover that up. So I'm thinking trees? Maybe trees? No, we need the those I think will work. Yes, I think we need 2. Yep. Kaka or modded Giga. We could do Giga or Kaka as well for our main animal display. There's a lot of possible species here, so I remember when you could charge $500 for a ticket fee for JPOG. I miss being able to choose how much people pay to enter the park. It just feels like one of those little management elements that we really should have control over. And it really would help out, you know, those early game base game troubles, you know, when you're either having difficulty getting people into the park or you're getting not enough money. It would just be one of those interesting elements to have to play around with. Where are the rocks? There they are. What's the time at my place? It's 21 minutes past 9 in the evening. British time. Not too late. Next week, all the special streams, by the way, they'll be going on for a long time. I'm probably going to do a few, like, 12-hour long streams. So, hopefully people will always be able to catch part of them, if not all of them. That's the hope, anyway. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do in them yet. I know one of the ideas is to just spend a long time playing the Isle and grow something. Possibly a T-Rex or Giga, something like that. Just to demonstrate how difficult it actually is to do. Right, let's have that go through here. Up to here and across. There we go. We basically need to do the same thing here. I don't like this entranceway. Wondering if we can hide it. Let's see. Maybe we could put like proper wall there. It's just not quite long enough. But what I might do is just have it go this way. It's not perfect, but it will do. I'm just going to have a slurp of tea while I catch up to chat. T-Rex does take a while to grow, indeed. It's very difficult to grow. I find doing a T-Rex on the Isle is one of the more difficult things you can do. Bugger, it's just got rid of that. I combined it with a toilet. That's a good idea, actually. Guests bathroom. I mean, the Malta bathroom is a bit large. So maybe have one of the others. Actually, let's put it in, and then let's move it ourselves. How does that look from that direction? That looks fine. Looks okay from that direction. And it almost looks like another entranceway, doesn't it? This particular path is available in my Malta path pack. You can download it off of Nexus. It's a modification of my grey cobblestone path, which is in a few of the other path packs I have. and I basically just gave it a bit of a color difference in my art program that I use. And I think it works quite well. I think it's a very close... I mean, if you compare it to the color of the actual mortar brick itself, it's not perfect, of course, but it's not far off. I think it's a pretty good similarity there. I'm especially happy with my rusty red, because if I go down here, so that there is my rusty red metal path there. So that's just my normal metal path with a rust effect over the top. And if you compare it to the actual red on their stuff, it isn't far off exactly the right color or rust effect, so I'm very happy with that. I was mega proud I got it as close as I did. Anyway, enough tooting my own horn. Let's get on with this. So I'm going to actually brick off again this area here. 1 and 2. And then what I might do here is just have like trees, or make it a sort of a staff area. So I might have one of those staff looking towers, just keeping an eye on what's going on in here. With whatever dinosaur we put in. This side is going to be entirely a nice guest area, basically. I'm thinking some seating, some fountains, some statues. There we go. Let's sort out that. Let's give that a little bit more mountainside. Smooth that out a little bit. Not too much. There we go. That works. I don't get why the hotels don't have restrooms. I don't understand why the hotels in this game, and I didn't understand why in the first game, that the hotels didn't offer food, they didn't offer drink, they didn't offer shopping, and they didn't offer restrooms. Because they have any hotel on an island resort would have those things. Are you looking forward to the Netflix Dino documentary? I haven't seen anything about it, if I'm honest. All I would say is that it's always going to be better than that awful thing Stephen Fry has been part of. So, having seen the thing Stephen Fry was part of, Netflix can't do any worse. I think it would be physically impossible for them to do worse than what Channel 5 and Stephen Fry have done. I mean, they couldn't even get the weight of an Allosaurus correct. I mean, for goodness sake. If anyone has not seen my review of part 2 or episode 2 of that particular show, by the way, I do suggest you go and give it a look. It is quite funny because I do pretty much lose my temper. I do get a bit angry in it. And apparently, me being angry is quite amusing to see, so... Right, let's do... I think we need another statue in here. I'm thinking something quite distinct and big and visual. So how about what is now my favorite sauropod in-game, the Alamosaurus. It's actually... I actually think that might be too big. just about fits. In actual fact, we could do with whoops. Where is our Alamosaurus? It's there. Okay. There we go. I think we could do with actually just sinking into the ground a little bit. There we are. That's better. Don't underestimate how terrible Netflix can make something. It's like they try to make it horrible. I'll be honest, I don't have Netflix. I've never had Netflix. So I don't really know what their quality is like. But again, I seriously doubt that they could make anything worse than what Channel 5 and Stephen Fry have done. Like, to make something worse than what Channel 5 and Stephen Fry have done, you'd have to try, actually, to make it terrible. You'd have to, like, set out with the whole plan being, I'm going to make a terrible, inaccurate, ineffective documentary. And piss off the entire dinosaur-loving community in the process. They used the Jurassic Park raw, so I am skeptical. I do remember seeing that. I do remember seeing them use that raw, and I'm like, I do hope you're not going to be doing that too often. So yeah, I do remember that about it at least. Let's put these two down a little lower. Put you way down. There we go. And I think, can we actually squeeze some normal ferns or something in here? No, it's not going to let us. It put one in, it just put it in completely the wrong place. Oh, dinner is here. Lovely. Dane has ordered takeaway for us. Oops, so my dinner has just arrived. So bear with all the sounds from behind. I do apologise. They said... Yes, I know. Well, I'm going to catch up with chat just while we get dinner sorted out. So let's take a momentary break. It is, since it's rare... It's a rare spectacle seeing a British man get angry. You have clearly never seen me play War Thunder, Goofy. I swear like a sailor playing that game. Thank you. Imagine they said Utahraptor could kill a T-Rex. 30 of them, it's possible. Godzilla with Stephen Fry. That would be an interesting show to watch. Godzilla with Stephen Fry. The quality is so bad that they will legit make anything into a show or a movie. Yeah, I mean, the Halo show didn't do very well, apparently. I never watched it, but apparently the Halo show was not good. Some dinosaur families in this park. No, not in this particular park. I'm deciding not to do male and female and baby dinosaurs for this particular park. I have done it on previous parks, though. Let's go to dinner with Triclaw Gaming. Okay, here's a question for chat then, since I'm eating takeout. What is chat's favourite takeout? What is, like, you know, the one takeout that you could never live without? They regularly said that they did not play the Halo games like it was such a... Really, Goofy? Is that true? That the people making the Halo TV show admitted that they hadn't played the Halo games. Is that true? Can someone confirm that? Not that I don't believe you, Goofy Goof. I'm just legitimately shocked if that's the case. Takeout. Need definitions as well. Oh, fast food, Saurian. You know, when you order food in, like is it like Italian, Chinese pizza, Domino's, Pizza Hut, you know, McDonald's, whatever's your fast food fancy. Is it an English thing to call it takeout? That's just something for chat. Do you only the English call it takeout when you order food in? I thought that was just kind of a general thing. In Dinosaur, they legitimately showed a Triceratops charge. It didn't joust, it did fencing. A good shawarma sandwich and a side of fries can't be beat, says Goofy Goof. Dinosaur King says, which Orano do you like better now because of the Regenesis? I go to the Jim Orano, the CC Orano, or the OG Orano. I'm still a fan of the original Operation Genesis or Orano Dinosaur King. I love it. Riley says Chinese food. Goofy says nice watching rocks. Evolution Square, hello. Sad I can't find Dinosaur's latest episode on YouTube. Looks like they successfully cracked down on it. Damn. Well, I would be upset, but the show is such a pile of shit that I really am not. I'll be a little disappointed I can't do the rest of the reviews for you guys, but apart from that, I'm not that bothered. Just, oh, how sad. Never mind. I think I might just increase the height of the fountain here just a little bit, just so we have a little bit more difference between it and the decorations we have in front. That might be too high. So let's put it back down. I didn't want it to be too high. I just wanted a little height difference. That's all I wanted. That's okay. Yeah, that'll do. I really like that. I think that's quite a decorative water feature. Maybe we could have another dinosaur statue behind this. Give me a Evo, since you're here. Give me a dinosaur from the game that we can have the statue of. It was hilarious to me. 10 out of 10 hate watch experience. Agreed. They cancelled season 2 of Velma. Why am I not surprised? Doesn't have to be thematically appropriate either. This is just a decorative part on the back of How Hotel. Whatever dino is nearest. Well, since it's Evo's favourite, let's do Stegosaurus. That's Oviraptor. Stegosaurus. And let's grab it. And let's raise it up a little bit. Just to make it look like it's standing on those rocks there. Thagomizer is in the way. Let's just turn it around a bit. There we go. Perfect. Let's figure out the lighting. I hate the Stegosaurian. Ooh, that's strong wording. About pink? No. What about orange? Orange for the amber works. Got a nice green glow for our Stego. And I actually think what we're also going to do is just for a little bit of added lighting, we're going to grab some of those marine lights and just have... I think we'll have one shining directly on our Stego from that direction, and one shining on our Stego from... I think that direction. Yep. And then let's have these lights.
Yeah, they also touch the...
I don't know, an off green? Nope. Ah. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, I need to change the light color. I need to change their light color when they're not in there. Ah, the little things. Let's put that back. Right. We change the light color here. I'm thinking a white. And then if we move them, it should now be fine. There you go. If we have a look at that in the dark. Perfect. I like that. Looks good. I don't want mods, I want some simple improvements to the game that everyone can enjoy. I agree, like, there are some really basic decorative touches that mods have added that really ought to be in the base game. Things like placeable ground lights, for example, they really should be in the base game. Or more types of plant that we can use. Or things like dinosaur statues or dinosaur skeletons. There's so many little decoration items that they could have brought in that would just really make a difference if we were all able to use them. More fence types, especially Goofy. Maya Gare is better, but I still love Stego. Agreed. Yes, we got takeout. It just arrived. I'm having chips right now. Okay, so there's our rear part of this hotel section done. I won't be boring and put in all the tables and chairs and stuff right now. I'll do that off stream. Right, let's decide what dinosaur to put in there. We have exactly 100 land species to pick from. Now, I want it to be something quite big in this particular area, and probably a carnivore, since carnivores are going to be the things that people pay to see. So, what are our possibilities? Mappusaurus is a big one because Mappusaurus has some really good camouflage patterns. I mean, there is also Spinosaurus. I don't use Spino enough. Tarbosaurus as well. Tyrannotitan. There's Kakarodonto as well. Mapusaurus, says Natalie. Let's go with the Mapusaurus and let's try and figure out a nice skin. Because luckily, LA Studios is all of LA Studios' dinosaur mods. Their skins actually are accurate to what it's showing. So the color that it shows in the bottom bar will be the color of the pattern. And then we can just go off the color of the skin. So I'm thinking we maybe have 3 different Mapusauruses. So I'm going to do one, and then you two can do the others. So my one is going to be black and green, because that is trichlor colors. And then you guys can decide the other 2. And if we are going to have Mapusaurus, we're going to need some double layer fencing, I think. Let's put in our viewing galleries. I think it's okay to have one there. I wish these ones had slightly nicer entrances. We're going to have to do a bit of disguising, I think, on those. Right, double layer fencing. The outer layer needs to be bigger than the inner layer. So let's do large. There we go. So there's that layer. And we need to put in this one.
I will protect.
Don't mind if this particular layer is a little wider than the others. Gives space for some trees or something to disguise it with in the middle. And then this one needs to be... This one kind of needs to be 50% as well. Bye-bye, Evo. Okay, so Mapusaurus has no relation to the medieval era. Well, Dinosaur King, no dinosaur in this game has any relation to a medieval era. There are no dragons with... There are no dinosaurs in this game that look like dragons. So, you know, we're working with some limitations. No, that's fine. We'll just cover up that that area.
How do you know it's spicy? Did you eat it?
I'm going to change this fence type to the large. Does that make sense? What should the environment be for the Mapusaurus? I'm thinking... Let's remove a little bit of this water. I'm going to give them like a river through the middle. Actually get rid of all the vegetation here so we can start again. I think we lost the point of medieval. No, so Dinosaur King, I don't, medieval in terms of, we're using lots of wall sections and medieval style decorations, mortar style buildings. It's not a medieval themed park. A medieval themed park would be an interesting idea. Maybe something I'd do in a future video. But this is medieval theme in decoration, not necessarily in dinosaur. I know something can represent a dragon. Quets? Yeah, like if you were going to do a medieval dinosaur park, Quets would definitely be a dragon. But then it wouldn't really be medieval. It more likely you're talking about a mythological animal park, so dinosaurs to represent certain mythological animals. A rundown village map. You came in and claimed it. I like that idea. Like have a bit of like a village on one of these little island sections. I mean, we do have all those other monastery areas around the island, so why don't we could just have a mock monastery on one of these little islands. Yeah, something on here, perhaps. I'm just going to basically grab all the bits for it first, and then... So those are all the bits I want to use, and then I'll use Kyodenic's Move It mod to position them. That way we're not screwing up any of the land or the angles or anything like that. There's one. Let's grab you, put you in here. There's two. Here is position number 3. And 4. You know, I've actually considered that quite a cool game to have would be something based on like a mythological zoo builder or like a game where you have the creatures from the Fallout games, but you build a park to display them. I'd love to have some death claws in my parks. Or, not death claws, what am I thinking? Mirelurks? Yeah, Mirelurks. Those would be mega cool to have in the parks. There you go, shrink that tower down enough. That looks like a doorway as opposed to a window. And then I'm going to grab one of these wall sections, and then I'm going to twist it. Not quite upright. I want it to look like it's collapsed and it's just kind of leaning. There you go, that'll do. Put in a few trees. This one will shrink down like that. And then this one will shrink as well, just not by as much. There we go. Let's put in something. I kind of want one of these, but I want to sink it really low so it looks like a big bush. Like that. I am trying to do my best to keep up with chat and E-Town game at the same time, so bear with me, folks. Scorpio Rex could be a manticore. That's a good idea, Rob. Also, an animal you don't hear much people talk about are manticores. Like, when you hear people talking about mythological animals, they tend to stick to dragons and sphinxes and things like that. You don't often hear the old manticore being mentioned, so I appreciate that. I know, I think there was an Ark expansion with a manticore in, so that's probably why. Quite like the idea of maybe giving the Mapusaurus like a fountain or something. Just like they'd have a mock fountain to drink from. Right, and now the rest of this just needs to be decorated, essentially. There we go.
It's the equivalent of going into the land.
Little lightly coloured sand around this bottom edge, just to make it stand out. Little rock texture behind. There we go. Lovely. This water will also make lightly coloured, since it's going to be a kind of a river. And we need to stick some rocks in here. A few light ones to create like a little estuary-like effect. And we'll put in a few trees as well. Ark Scorched Earth has the Manticore. Yeah, I thought there had been like an Ark pack DLC with it in. I just couldn't. I don't really play Ark, so I didn't know which one it was. There was a Manticore in Adventure Time that screamed, "My new prison is shame." What? Okie dokie. That's bizarre, but you know. It is what it is. There we go. Okay. We need feeders for our Mapusaurus. And then we can basically fill up the rest with vegetation. Why did that not give me anything but bushes? I mean, really. Ginkgos, you are my saving grace. Give me some plants. Lovely. Put a few there. Nice. I think that looks quite decorative. We have our little castle right next door to our viewing gallery there. Let's try and layer in some more ginkgos. Good. Put in some bushes along this water source. Good. Thinking maybe one more little decorative sort of area. Not a too big one, just something to kind of connect it to the other fortification that we have just down the road, as it were. Let's grab this one, shrink it down a bit because that's way too tall. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that looks good. I'm just going to have a bite of burger, bear with me. Sink a spinoskeleton into the ground for a corpse. Add a tall tower made from the mortar pieces in the exhibit, like a lookout. Suppose we could, if we grabbed another one of these, we could make like this end tower big. More bigger than the other two, just for a little bit of distinction. I think that's fine. Make, what are your favourite dino docs that aren't Walking with Dinosaurs or Prehistoric Planet? Prehistoric Park is in there as well. But apart from those, there's one. There's a documentary series that David Attenborough did called Flying Monsters, which was all about pterosaurs. That one was very good as well. And you can get it on DVD. So I would suggest people go and purchase that and watch that. I mean, it's got David Attenborough in it, for one. And anything with him in it is good. And the information that they present is, you know, as accurate as they can manage and is not full of mistakes. So that's also good. Right, let's start moving the Mapusaurus. So this is the first one. I believe Goofy Goof asked for a red and black one. So there's red and black. And then chat has the last choice. Unlike Dinosaur with Stephen Ver. Yeah. It's so disappointing to see blue and yellow. Blue and red? I think I'm going to put another set of hotels in here as well.
Yeah.
So one there. And one there. Or perhaps one here. Yeah, and then the path can come out this way. Yeah, I'm happy with that. We need space, obviously, for some shops and bars and stuff. Who is this Stephen Fry anyway? I've never heard of him. He's a British comedian and he's quite intelligent, which is what makes his presence in the program even worse. Oh. LA Studios. You know, this is Trichlor in a dinosaur. with the black and the green. That is my green. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful. Right, let's get red guy in. And number 3. So someone suggested blue and yellow. So Amazon rainforest and Calcarana. That's as close to the yellow as we can have is the orange. Looks like the GT40 colours. Fuck it, we'll go with that and we'll call it GT40. And if no one knows what a GT40 is, I suggest if you go on Google and look it up, GT40, you'll see what I mean. The only thing that redeems Walking with Dinosaurs 2013 is Prehistoric Planet 3D narrated by Benedict Cumberbatch. For me, there is only one dinosaur program narrator, and it's got to be Kenneth Branagh from Walking with Dinosaurs. There's just something about the way he does his narrations which are just so good. Like, David Attenborough is good, but sometimes I think his narrations can feel a little flat, like lacking a bit of energy. But Kenneth Branagh, he's always, like in Walking with Dinosaurs, he was always able to put that, just the way he says certain dinosaurs, like Ornithocheirus or Liopleurodon or Tyrannosaurus, he just says it in that sort of way that makes your goosebumps go down the back of your neck. I don't know. I just love Kenneth Branagh as an actor as well. He was really good in Dunkirk, for example, and in Valkyrie. He's just a really good actor, I think. I'd love to see him in a Star Trek or Star Wars film, actually. I reckon Kenneth Branagh would be really good. He can make you amazement even talking about the way. Yeah, see, that's... yeah, but David Attenborough is kind of the same. Oh, look at that. That red is glorious as well. Beautiful. There's Dane in dinosaur colours as well. Thinking maybe have a layer of trees here. I don't want them too big though. Just gonna lower a couple of these just to make it look less uniform. Nice. Branagh is Shakespearean trained. Yeah, so it does make sense. His delivery's on plot. It's a bit. Oh dear. It's a bit like Captain Patrick Stewart, Captain Picard. Look at that. The blue and the orange. GT40. Let's name him GT40. GT40 looks really, really nice. They gave each other a bit of a battering, but that's fine. As long as you guys don't kill each other. Now, don't be nasty to one another. Aww, they made up with each other after their fight. That's nice. GT40 is, however, king of the pack. Nice infinity shape. Wow. Infinity shape? What have I done? No, guy, you have confused me. What do you? Are you referring to the GT40 is going to crash stop them? GT40 is superior. Yeah, he is the superior Mapusaurus at the moment. I really love all those colours. They look so good. And I think this exhibit is perfect for them. Pretty much. Where are we? 2211. This area is pretty much done now. All that's left to do is to put in like a few bars and a few shops and stuff, and then do the last sort of the bits of decoration. So I'm actually going to leave that area there so I don't bore you folks with doing that, and we'll figure out a herbivore enclosure. I'm thinking about putting one down here with the giant alligators. I kind of like my parks to be balanced. It's something I tend to do with all my parks. Like, I try to always balance out the number of herbivores and number of carnivore species. Unless I'm doing something specific, like a carnivore-only park or a herbivore-only park. I try to balance out the sorts of animals I have in the park, just to prevent it being too full of carnivores and herbivores. And I actually think that's a good tactic for anyone to have as well when they're building parks. If you're not sure on what dinosaur to put in an exhibit, have a look at what you've already got. Like, when was the last time I had a herbivore? When was the last time I had a carnivore? See if you've got something missing from your park's makeup, and then try putting that in instead. Let's actually have it as that same color of rock around that edge. Basically, this is going to be this will be going downhill all the way down. So I need to kind of level it out a few times. No, wrong one. So there's layer 1. And then layer 2. And then layer 3. Always try and do about 2 or 3 contour lines when you're doing something like this. Otherwise, you'll get a slope that's just really, really severe and doesn't look realistic at all. You have to remember that in real life, people would have to be walking up and down these, people with pushchairs, people in wheelchairs. You wouldn't want the slope to be too severe. You'd also probably want the slope to turn at some point as well. But I'm just going to have it go straight down. There we go. And then all we're going to do is just run up with smooth terrain. We have a nice shallow path down. Let's make sure all the contour lines are reasonably close together. You get a nice, fairly simple fairly easy slope. There we go. So if you need to put slopes into your park, that's the best way to do it. Put in some ginkgo here. And there we go. This is obviously a bit severe, so we'll Use terrain smoothing again. Just make it a bit. Now use the contour lines to guide what you're doing. Oops. Yeah, I might need to go back and do that one again because it's come up a bit short, but get the sort of idea of what I'm aiming for. And then this whole area down here will probably be for a herbivore. Grey, black, and red are looking good for them. I agree. My guests need to be fit enough to climb a hill. Let's get different creatures to look like cars, like the GT40. A park where all the animals are based on vehicles. So I suppose the Scorpius Rex could be like, I don't know. Something really horrible and ugly as a car. You're like 10 minutes behind when I commented. I apologize, nerd guy. I still haven't quite got down the keep a look at the chat while you're building thing. Okay, so our path is going to join up to there, basically. Then we'll have one coming off this way. I'm thinking we'll run it along this cliff edge. All the way to the end there. We'll make it a little thicker because a thin path is a bad path. Your guests are complaining about a lack of facilities. Well, they know where they can deliver those complaints.
You were the bird person.
Ooh. There we are. We need a Therry Ford F-150. Oh wait, you reached 1.15k subs. We got to 1,150. Wow. It's surprising to me just how many people seem to have latched on to that review I did. Like, they really did enjoy me going absolutely nuts on a documentary. Which is funny, because when I went nuts on Jurassic World Evolution 2, or Jurassic World Evolution 1, no one was interested. So I guess it comes down to the fact that no one likes this documentary at all, and they're not willing to defend it at all. I hope people will be just as enthused by me and Nerd Guy doing a retrospective review of Fallen Kingdom in the next couple of weeks, few weeks probably. We've decided to do the other movies, so we will be ripping to shreds Fallen Kingdom, which is a movie that Nerd Guy really doesn't like. All the other films, or at least Jurassic World, me and Nerd Guy accept that it's not terrible, it's just acceptable. But Fallen Kingdom, Nerd Guy is just like, yeah, no, this is bad. Right, so space enough here easily for a little dinosaur. Is Demon Slayer airing in Britain? I've not heard of that.
Is it creating sphere missions? Not that intense, quote unquote.
I think Fallen Kingdom is worse than Dominion. See, I'm not sure. Glitzbox says Fallen Kingdom is hysterically bad. I honestly believe that Dominion is so much worse than Fallen Kingdom. I honestly think Dominion is the worst movie I have ever seen. Not from a strictly like movie making perspective, but from a thinking about what they could have done with the premise that they had. I think it's such a disappointment in terms of a movie that it's that I think it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I consider it worse than Star Wars Episode 9. And that really is bad. I watched that with Nerd Guy as well a few months ago, I think before Christmas, and I was like, it can't possibly be as bad as everyone is saying, and he's like, oh my lord. However, in Star Wars Episode 9 being just as bad, at least Star Wars and Star Trek fans finally have something in common, in that we can both accept that our favourite franchises have been ruined by Jar Jar Abrams. We finally have something to agree on. If that doesn't bring Star Trek and Star Wars fans together in mutual dislike of Jar Jar Abrams, I don't know what will. And yes, I will keep calling him Jar Jar Abrams until such time as no one calls him JJ anymore. He does like tanking IPs. You have no say for Dominion because you walked out of the theatre, says Dinosaur King. No, I didn't. I watched Dominion. I watched all of Dominion, Dinosaur King. Glitzbog says, as a dinosaur fan, I concur with that notion. Excellent. Same, as a Star Wars geek, the sequel sucked. I don't think they sucked. They certainly could have been better, I will say that. Considering what they could have done with the franchise. Like, I to this day still don't understand how anyone can make a bad Star Wars film. I mean, it's like one of the strongest franchises out there. As much as I love Star Trek, it's never gained the popularity Star Wars has. And it's like, how can you mess up a Star Wars movie? It's so simple. It's just space wizards. It's like, how can you mess that up? It's like making a bad Lord of the Rings project. Oh no, wait. That's also happened. I don't know if anyone else watched Rings of Power, but yeah. So boring. Oh, why would you do that? Just moving things around a little bit just to help smooth out that really hideous looking fence line I've got going on here. There we go. I'm basically going to end up doing that all around the edge of this particular paddock. So it looks like a bit like a sunken castle. They killed off Luke Skywalker. Why? People mess up Earth wizards. True. Carnotaurus is king here, says Aiden. No, this is going to be for herbivores. So there will be no carnivores in this particular area. We already have a giant alligator, you see, so... have a tower there. Tower there. Tower there. So here is Tower 1. Tower 2. Tower 3. There we go. I think this one along the back we'll make as concrete. And we'll place in plenty of trees and stuff to kind of disguise that. But it acts as a clear separating boundary between the area here, which will be full of shops and stuff, and the rest of this particular enclosure. This side we'll have as low fence. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put in 5 and 6. I have no idea. Processorus is actually a caiman, is it? But it's huge. Caimans are tiny, aren't they? I mean, I know it's prehistoric, but still, like... prehistoric caimans really that large? Okay, we'll disguise that gap with a tree or something. Yeah, it's a huge caiman. Blimey. Well, I've learned something new today. Sorry folks, I just want to get this done before we decide on what herbivores we put in here. I think this particular enclosure is easily big enough for a good 2 or 3 different species, so... we need a couple more sections. 1 and 2, that should do it. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be a rough sort of look. Like I said, we'll put plenty of trees along the back. In fact, let's do that now. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to grab these. these, or these. And I'll grab these ones. And what we're going to do is sink them into the ground. So the back of this enclosure is essentially just a big hedge. And then we'll stick a few normal trees sticking up. Amongst them. Just to make it look a little bit more natural. Obviously, we need to sink these a little lower so they don't look so uniform. Let's grab that one and sink you down a bit. Yeah, that hides that back of that enclosure. Trees as bushes. It works every time. Camarasaurus, says Goofy Goof. We could do Camarasaurus. I suppose with all the trees and stuff we're going to have in here, a sauropod makes sense. Actually going to have the water basically coming off the edge of here. So it kind of looks like those are like mangroves. Name the Camaro the Ford F-150. It's certainly big enough. Let's remove that. I'm going to have a slurp of Fanta. Right. We do also have to remember that this is quite... it's only protected by invisible fence, and then it's got a low fence wall around it. So we can't make the animals in here too excessive, because otherwise it just isn't realistic that they would keep them in there. I definitely agree that a sauropod would look good in here. I just think Camarasaurus... I don't know, actually, Camarasaurus really isn't that large. And we do have the new Jurassic Park Operation Genesis design to put in. So, yeah. Let's actually go with that Camarasaurus. Let's grab, what, 2? Yeah, 2 Camarasaurus, I think, for that enclosure. What am I looking at? Camarasaurus. There you are. And we're going to use the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis design. We'll grab both of those and release via airlift. Camarasaurus and an Ankylosaurid, says Goof. Megalania could be fun ankle biter with the Camara. Name the Camara Toyota. Okay, we'll name one of the Camaras a Toyota. Megalania's I do want to have a Megalania exhibit. I'm just not sure where. I was thinking about having it maybe along here somewhere, or along here somewhere, as a kind of almost a semi walkthrough exhibit. Because they are just basically big Komodo dragons. Toyota and Ford 150. Okay, we'll call the Camarasaurus Toyota and Ford 150. But as for what we have living alongside them, there is obviously Maya Gaia that we haven't used. There's Lambeosaurus as well as a new mod species. Just trying to think. We haven't actually had that many. Oh, we've got Shattung the Shant as well. Shant might be a bit big. There's Stegoceratops, which would be fun to have in as a kind of a combination of armored. Oh, there's Tethys actually. I'm going to use Tethys because it's a hadrosaur, and we haven't used that many of them. Let's go with random coloration. And I'm just going to have 3. And then we'll see how sort of filled up this area is with 2 Kamaras and Tethys. We've already actually got Tarchaya in the park. Down here at the very park opening, we have Oranosaurus, Chasmosaurus, and Tarchia. With their nice little beachside exhibit. I mean, it's big enough that we could even probably put an Alamosaurus or Brachy or something in here. People walking through on their way to the other exhibits. Ah, there's the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis Camarasaurus. Which still looks nicer than the Camarasaurus we have in game. The head is just a better shape. And it has a much better pattern, I think. Right, these guys need Tool Nut and Tool Leaf. Now then, what gives them Tool Nut and Tool Leaf? They can get Tool Leaf off of Ginkgos, so that's good. So we'll put in some Ginkgo. There we go. Tool Nut they can only really get from the seed plants. So we'll put a few seed plants in as well. Not too many, because I don't want to overdo the vegetation. Too much vegetation can make your exhibits look just too busy. There's absolutely nothing wrong with just having empty space. Or just grass, or just, you know, sandy foliage. That's fine. I don't mind how simple that looks. So we need to name these. One is the Ford F-150, and the other is Toyota. Hang on, is it Toyota? That's it, Toyota. There we go, Toyota and Ford 150. And then we'll get our Tethys in here. Why would Stephen Fry time travel to see dinosaurs? Just walk outside birds. Exactly. Not enough people know whales are fish. Saurian? Whales are mammals, not fish. Dinosaur King JPOG Brachy would be good, maybe. Higher Fletcher swam so late to the party. No worries, Fallout. That is the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis skin for Kamara. This is what they used to look like in JPOG. With the sort of mottled greens. They had the older sort of style where they were long-necked rather than tall-necked, but apart from that, it's pretty accurate. Mammals are tetrapods, also fish. Well, okay, I suppose, Saurian, if you go back far enough through evolution, then yes, everything is related to fish, because fish were the first vertebrates, so everything is related to fish. However, that is not the way that species classification works. Whales are mammals. Name all of the Tethys Prius. And the stream's been going okay for that. Yeah, it's been busy. We've had some nice conversation. So like I say, next week from March the 1st, there will be streams pretty much every day. If trout and sharks are fish, dinosaurs have to be too. Let's not discuss that logic, sorry. So yeah, from March the 1st, there's going to be streams every day. One of those will at least be growing a Rex or Giga in the Isle from baby to adult. Just so I can demonstrate to people how difficult it is. There will also be a Jurassic World Evolution 2 stream. I'm going to try to build a park in a day. So I'm going to pick, I'm going to use this map, but we're going to use the original boundaries. I've already created a nice little decorative item, and we're going to create a secret raptor facility in a 12-hour stream. As for the other streams, I haven't yet figured those out. One of the other streams might be a War Thunder stream. One of them might be something that Dane will want to play. One of those could also be a joint stream with me and Dane, so we'll keep you guys informed. The big thing, though, will be that Sunday's stream next week, which is on my birthday, March the 5th, is going to be a 1,000 sub special stream, which we will probably be doing something together for, or if it's just me, then I will have my webcam on, so there'll be a bit of a face reveal. You'll be able to see what I look like, and I don't know, I think we might do a Q&A session, maybe just chat and talk and share details, and yeah, just get to know each other. But yeah, keep a lookout either tomorrow or Tuesday for a full list of everything that's going to be done. We need a cursed park build stream with every meme mod. Ugh. Please God, no. Oh, that's quite a nice skin. That Tethysadros. I like that one. Number 3 is on its way still. We'll have a look at all 3 once they're in the park. I think we need some names for our giant caiman, don't you? Actually, there was something I needed to... I wanted to change this because obviously we have the annoying double ocean. You know what? I can live with that. I don't mind. Name one big boy caiman. Okay. Big boy caiman. I'm going to name number 2 after a submarine. I believe it's the Invincible. Invincible. Which is the only submarine that's ever... the only nuclear submarine that's ever sunk another ship in combat. It's the one we sank the Argentinian battleship Belgrano with at the beginning of the Falklands War. And the third Pruss... I'm going to call him Barbosa. After Captain Barbosa from Pirates of the Caribbean. Right, where's our Tethysadros? So there's number 2, we already saw. Number 3. Ooh. Wow, that's really decorative. Wow. And our first one is just sort of a dull green and white. They look really good. Do we have enough space for another species in here? I'm not sure. I mean, it's already pretty full. I reckon we might have space for one more. Oh, they eat ground fruit. Okay. They'd like ground fruit. So let's just put in a smattering of ground fruit over here and over here. There we are. I'm thinking we might do like a a zip wire going maybe from this end down to this end, or maybe from over here across to over here. Think about that. But yeah, I think we've got space for one more species. And I reckon... want it to be something relatively small-ish. Compies. No, compies do not deserve to be in my park. Let's do... and we've already got an ankylosaurid. You know what? Minimum population 3. Let's do some Struthi. I still think Struthiomimus is some of the nicest skins around. And let's make them Sonoran Desert with black stripes. There we go. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe we could put like a zip line, sort of. Let's just do a mock-up. Maybe if we had the tower here, and then have it go across to here. Something like that. I mean, that would be... Look how tall that one is. It's very, way too tall for safety, but... Yeah, maybe something like that. And then you'd go across the whole thing, pretty much. Tiny like her mallow tiny. I didn't necessarily want it tiny, but just something that was not huge. Maybe Camarasaurus can jump really high. I don't know. I don't see them playing basketball anytime soon. Let's just stick in some more of these towers. Just wanting to keep with that medieval feel. Would you upload this to the Nexus when you're done? The problem with that, Jack, is because I use so many mods, I can't guarantee that this park would work for everyone. For this park to work for people, you'd have to use exactly the same mods I do. And you'd also have to have all of the DLCs. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to use this park. Something I could do is I could, once the park is built, remove all of the dinosaur species so that the park is established and you just have empty enclosures and such. And then people, if they have all the DLCs and they use expanded islands and they use the same basic mods, then they can take over the island and put in whatever dinosaurs they want and everything else. That's something I could do. But obviously I need to finish the park first. We haven't got that much left of this park to do. I want one more enclosure here, basically. I want to build the sort of waterside beach area. I want a sort of tour ride possibility. I'm thinking maybe have a tour guide. Maybe I could do that. Have like a tour ride around this whole centerpiece. Yeah, that would work actually. And then obviously there's the sort of facility area of the park as well, where I'm thinking I might have like a few veterinary blocks and stuff like that. Yeah, once it's done, I'll do a tour guide around the park, and then if people want it, then I'm willing to figure out a way I can enable everyone to have the park. Do you need to figure out what I'm going to do with the center? How big are those fountains? See, they're not very big. Yeah, I need to figure out what to do with this area here around the compass. But I'm pretty happy with how everything's looking so far. I'm very happy with this area. With our castle and our gatehouse and our Mapusaurus enclosure. I still think the black and green looks the best, but I will admit the GT40 colours really good. Mix up the fountains, like combine them together and alter the heights. That's a good idea. So like maybe have one in the middle, but have the one in the middle really tall. Okay, so let's... Just how tall can we make them? Now we can give them a little bit of a lip. And then maybe have... Well, these ones are huge. These ones are huge compared with that one. Don't know. I'll have a think about that. See what I can construct in the middle. Maybe a square of the marine planters raised up and then have smaller fountains around the outside. Not sure. Maybe have a dinosaur statue or two on them. Or maybe we could have a different dinosaur statue on each of these red sections. Like have some of the biggest statues, like the sauropods and the big carnivores on each of these sections. Something we could do.
Yes, that was.
Right, I think all of our Struthies are in. I thought they were supposed to have black stripes. Oh well. Looks okay. They add a nice bit of colour. Different colour and different size. Yeah, I'm happy with that enclosure. I think that works. I'll figure out whether I like the zipline or not at a later point. So let's just mark out what the rest of this park is going to be while I don't forget. So basically around this center point, probably down here and across here and across here, this is just going to be a tour. I would also suggest as well, if you're having trouble laying out your parks, sometimes it is a good idea to do this. Just like grab one of the terrain colors and just draw in what you kind of want. Draw in where you're going to have enclosures, where you're going to do decoration, where you're going to have stuff empty. Just helps to lay things out and keeps you sort of grounded to what you want to make. So this area we're going to have vets. This is going to be an enclosure here, but that's probably going to be combined with a tour, so that doesn't really matter. Maybe we could have like the Megalania as a sort of little exhibit here, because I'm not sure what to do with this sort of exposed cliff. So maybe have like a little Megalania exhibit here. Just probably won't be big enough though. Maybe we could extend this cliff out a little bit, give them a bit more space. Megalania and Dimetrodon together. Not in something that size. Maybe if we put the Megalania maybe down here instead, maybe we could mix it with Dimetrodon. But then what to do with this enormous space here? And then obviously we need to put in, this is just going to be shops down here, so we need to put that in. Put in the shops down there. Finish just doing the decoration over here. Finish doing the decoration over here. And then the park will pretty much be done. Might make a few little like mock tents and archaeological things going on around these other castles and monasteries, just to make it look a bit more used. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. So, oh, we've got this bit up here as well, don't we? Yeah, maybe have like a little path. No, we can't, because that's an exhibit down there. Yeah, maybe we could do the same thing here. Just have like some archaeological, like mock dig sites or whatever. Majunga could be on the island. Majunga, yeah, I don't know. We do have quite a lot of other mod species that we haven't yet used in the park, so obviously we've got the hybrids like Ankylodocus, Stegoceratops, Spinoraptor. Argentinosaurus is a bit too big for what we're going for with this. We've also got Concavinator. We've also got Lambeosaurus. We haven't used Lambeosaurus yet. There's Maziochisaurus, there's Megalania, there's Megaraptor, there's Maiagea, Shitungosaurus, Tarbosaurus, and Tyrannotitan. So there's quite a few species that we haven't yet got on to the park. Irritator is actually already here. Where are they all? There they are. There are my Irritators. Matching the colour of the Mapusaurus, actually. They've got a huge exhibit.
Oh no.
I am wondering maybe if we cut their exhibit in two, have like an invisible fence line that goes out from between the two galleries and around. And then we could have the Irritators in this side and maybe have something else in this side, like the Megalanias, maybe. If we separate it in half, I don't know. I'll think about that. They look irritated. Yeah, it's just too big. There's only 4 of them, so yeah, maybe if I do shrink their enclosure down, we could gain some space to have something else in this side. That would work. Pterosaurs, we haven't spoken about those. How big are the aviary sections? That's tempting. put one in here, fill up that space, or to have a larger one on this cliff here. I think maybe we could do sort of one there and one there. That would fill up that space. And with it being 2 sections big, that wouldn't be too small, say it's a reasonable sized pterosaur. Only difficulty is figuring out where to put like the viewing areas. Might have to move it around a little bit, but that could work. Could we do a modded pterosaur? I don't actually think there are that many modded pterosaur species. I'm pretty sure I've only got one. Let me grab a hatchery and find out. Yeah, the only one I have is the Genuinopterus. But it's small enough that we could definitely get get a small flock of Genuinopterus in a double aviary dome area. But I honestly think that maybe it would be better to have up here. Just more space, and then we can have it overlooking like the tour ride. If we had it here and here and there. So your tour ride would sort of start down here and probably follow along this edge, and then you'd have that in the background, forming one side of the wall, I suppose. And then you could have the viewing galleries there and there. No, that would work actually. I quite like that. And then you kind of have like an arrow thing going on. And maybe something like that. Are you ever going to try to make a preserve type park or rehabilitation type park? Well, I do already have those, actually. If you give me a moment to save this. Let me load up for you guys. Which one is it? Oregon Island. Since we're at the end of the stream, let me quickly show this one off for Goofy. Now this particular park I built using one of Evo's latest, well, I say latest tips. I mean, it was one of her suggestions from ages and ages ago from Jurassic World Evolution 1. Let me switch it to daytime. Obviously, it's not using the correct path. I would have been using my Alpine Taiga path mod, but you can get the general idea for this particular park. So this is the standard Oregon map, and all I've done is I've created another island inside the map boundary. So we've got this sort of island space. And then we have our... This is sort of supposed to be like a rehabilitation slash a what-if scenario. Basically, like, if Grant and Ellie Sattler and that were in charge of now looking after the dinosaurs at Biosyn Valley, maybe this is a secondary Biosyn site. So in the corner we have another Biosyn dome or Biosyn compound. We have like a riverside port for the bringing in of dinosaurs. And then at this end we have basically the scientific facility, so we have all the cages and command center, all that sort of thing. We have accommodation for scientists. So what I think these staff centers would be like accommodation blocks. Nice little tower there. And then basically the rest of this area is rehabilitation zone. So we have some Gallimimus in here, rescued Gallimimus. And then over here we have some Troodon, I believe. Yep, there they are. Troodontids. And then this area was like a sort of, not a testing zone, but like an animal cohabitation sort of experiment, where we have the rescued Parasaurolophus from Canada and Corythosaurus living next to each other, just to see how they all get along with each other. And then over here, in this tour ride, we have the rescued Carnotaurus. So we have Carnotauruses that have been rescued from Malta. This was obviously before the Malta DLC, so that Carnotaurus probably I should replace with the Malta DLC Carno. Down here we have some rescued Nasutoceratops that we also saw in Dominion. And we have Baryonyxes rescued from Isla Nublar. What else is in here? What do we have here? Just some Amargasaurus, just because I like them. It's one of my favorite species from the new game. In here should be somewhere. What is in here somewhere? This looks like a surprisingly empty exhibit. Where is the dinosaur that's supposed to be in here? Oh, there he is. There's a Spinosaurus from Isla Sorna, resting in the shade of the trees. And then up here we have our large veterinary and scientific research area. We have our quarantine areas for the vets. So any dinosaur released goes from. So we have this is the vet area, and then from the vet area, or they land here, go in here for their veterinary, release into here, then go through into here, then go down into each of these. We have an Allosaurus. Big Al is here, receiving medical care. We have the Velociraptors. I think they're all the Lost World skins, Where are the other raptors? I think they're all Lost World skin raptors. And the Minmise over here, when I was building it, someone in chat suggested that the Minmise will have chicken pox. So they're all in that quarantine bit with chicken pox. And then over by the port, we have this sort of waiting area for species coming in. So that we have our normal cells, which we have the Ceratosaurus from Site B, rescued, waiting for a paddock. We have another paddock up this end, some basic buildings and such, and then this is the high security paddocks for our raptors. And we have the raptors from Isla Sorna as well. They've already made a bit of a nuisance of themselves, having broken a few fences and such. So, But there's our raptors from there. So yeah, this was me sort of doing a rehabilitation slash facility park. And like I say, next week, as part of one of my streams, I'm going to do... That's a little concerning. Yeah, just a little bit. I am going to try to build a top secret raptor facility on... actually, let me show it. We've got a little bit of time. So, Jurassic World Greece. Is it Jurassic World Greece? No, wrong one. I've just loaded the wrong one. Whoops. Such uncivilized little dinos. Yeah, the raptors are definitely uncivilized. I think that would be... I've loaded the wrong map. Give me a second. That one. The raptors are distinctly uncivilized. But they're also clever. Which is why, so this particular park, the idea is we're going to use every single raptor. We're going to use Atrociraptor, Velociraptor, Deinonychus, Indoraptor, Spinoraptor. Is that all of them? I think that's all of them. Oh, a Megaraptor. We're going to use all the modded raptors as well. And we're basically going to turn this whole island into a secret raptor facility. And I've built this little monastery in the middle, which I've called Monte Casino, after the one in Italy. But yeah, this is going to be a top secret raptor research facility, laboratory, protection area. And this is going to be built within the confines of the traditional map boundary as well. So you'll be able to see me making a map, a park on a map without taking advantage of expanded islands. A dromaeosaur facility, exactly. But I've gone a little bit over my usual stream time. I want to thank everyone for joining me today. I'm going to head off now and probably grab some dessert. Keep a lookout for news next week about the special 1000 sub stuff that we're going to be doing. I want to thank Goof and Natalie, who's been here all the time through Fallout, Nerd Guy. Saurian was here, Glitzbog's been here, Evo was here, Dinosaur King has been here. I think that's everyone. I'm not sure I'm missing any. Oh, Riley was here earlier on as well, and Rob Earth as well. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I will see you guys next time. Enjoy the rest of your night, and goodbye.